Hey guys, it's Smudge here, live back here again in the F-18. Starting off from a carrier, just fancy kind of doing some flying. I thought I may as well switch on the live stream and drag you guys along with me because, you know, why not? Can't get enough of the Hornet. Not been able to fly it much this week because of work and other kind of lovely commitments and things like that, but, you know, I felt like giving it a go. Now on the carrier at the moment, you can only really hot start. If you try and start cold from the ramp, it drags you over to the catapult and blows you up anyway. I'm not sure if that's recently changed. There has been a lot of updates coming out. In fact, I update DCS pretty much every night on the early access thing. And there's like 10 to 15 gigabyte updates every night, so you know, fun. There's lots of progress happening with the aircraft anyway. But what we'll do is that we'll catapult ourselves off this aircraft carrier, and then we'll have a fly around. I put some bombs and rockets on. I think on my last stream I said I would do some air-to-ground stuff, but that never ended up happening. So I might go and have a look at that sort of stuff as well. Why not? So taking off from carrier is absolutely awesome. I'll turn on the control indicator here. The aircraft just literally flies itself off the back of the boat. You just power up, kind of, you know, just literally hold on. In real life, there's little handlebar things here on the canopy. You can see the pilot just holds those. You just push the throttles forward, and the aircraft does the rest itself. So without touching the controls here, I'll just throttle all the way up. And what's interesting as well is that the afterburners don't kick in unless they have to. The aircraft kind of knows what it's doing there, and then it pushes you off the back of the deck, and then the aircraft flies itself. Just bring the undercarriage up. So without touching any controls at all, not doing any sort of inputs, the aircraft just literally flies itself off the carrier, and then it'll just keep climbing. It's really nice. So we'll just kind of put the flaps up, and then we'll start leveling out the aircraft. Now what is really funny with this as well, as I said, when you take off you push the throttles up, but the afterburners don't kick in unless they have to. I've still got the throttles firewalled and the afterburners don't kick in, but you have to reduce the throttles and then push them forward again in order for the afterburners to kick in. It's so cool, it sounds so nice. Alrighty then, let's actually bring it away from somewhere on here. So ADI edges. Bring up our waypoints here. So I've got some trucks and things over at waypoint 1. I might go and drop some bombs on them first, have fly around, and then maybe come back and smash her into the deck a few times because, you know, what's fun. Like I said, I've not flown this in a few days, so still trying to get caught up on what's changed. They don't let us know on the early access what exactly has changed, which is a little unfair, but every time I fly this, it's like trying to find out something new or trying to find if they broke or fixed something, which is always fun. Oh, hi Stephen. So Stefan Razor has asked what kind of joystick and throttle do you use. I'm using a Warthog, the Thrustmaster Warthog kind of HOTAS system. I bought it a long time ago. It was a lot of money, but it served me right. Had some problems with it in the past, and Thrustmaster were really great and helped me kind of fix the stick. And had help from a really good friend of mine called Mateus, who helped me get it fixed up as well. But apart from a couple of issues I had, I've got, well, the serial number on my stick, just looking at it, is 3001. So it is one of the very early versions of the stick. Which were prone to some issues. I think the newer sticks and that have got all of the updated kind of cablings and things like that inside them. So they're a lot more bulletproof than what the early sticks were in the type that I've got here. Alrighty, so we're just cruising out here. Do absolutely love flying this aircraft. It is absolutely awesome. Done something cool internal lighting on because it looks cool. So we're coming up on waypoint 1 here, which like I said, I've got some trucks in the ground. So let's have a look at some of the air to groundy stuff first, and booms. On the aircraft at the moment I've got 4 Mark 82s and 4 LE-7 rocket pods. So to bring up the stores page, just on one of the MFDs here, press the menu key, which is the center button here, and then click on stores. Brings up the stores page here, which is really cool and groovy. So we'll just zoom in on this. As you can see, I've got 2 AIM-7s on, which I think are still placeholders, don't work properly. Got 2 AIM-9s, 4 Mark 82s, and 14 rockets on each side. So as you can see there, everything's cool and groovy. What we'll do first is have a look at arming the bombs and getting those off. So if we select the Mark 82s, it brings up the bomb profile page, which is cool. Now as you can see down here, we've got program 1, which is CCIP, fuses are off, drags FF. If you're carrying the Mark 82 Snake Eyes, you can set it to deploy the drag fins or not to deploy the drag fins, which is really cool. So you can use them as standard Mark 82s or again as Snake Eyes, which drag and come out. Now you need to arm the bombs, so you've got 2 types of fusing. You've got mechanical fuse, which you've got nose, and tail. On these Mark 82s, it's just the nose that's armed. If you select tail, it doesn't work. If you select nose and tail, it doesn't work. So you select nose. The electronic fuse, you've got instant and delayed 1, delayed 2. I'm not sure what VT is. I might need to read up on that. Delay 1 is that it hits the ground, waits a couple of seconds, then goes bang. Delay 2, it hits the ground, waits even longer, and then goes bang. So yeah, these are good for like penetrating bunkers and things like this, so they penetrate through the first layer of concrete, then go bang. Since we're destroying trucks, we'll go on to instant, so as soon as it hits the ground, or as soon as the nose hits the ground, it goes bang, and then kills everything around it. Now for the quantity and multi, this is all done on the UFC or upfront controller. So what we do is that we hit UFC here, and then I'll just pan the kind of camera around a little bit here. So at the moment we're set to drop 1 bomb in multi 1, so that means that we'll drop 1 bomb once. Now what you can do is that you can select quantity on the upfront controller and hit 2, and then hit enter. Now what this does is that we're going to drop 2 bombs in multiples of 1. So we're going to drop 2 bombs, but we'll drop 1 bomb and then the other bomb, if that makes any sort of sense at all. And then interval is in feet, how far apart the bombs are going to be when you drop them. So we can set this to something like, I don't know, if you want to do something like 200 feet, oops, sorry, interval 200, enter. So now with this, we'll drop 2 bombs, we'll drop them 1 at a time with an interval of 200 feet. So that's generally what that means. And the mode is CCIP, which is the computer-controlled initial point. You've got 2 types, CCRP, which is the computer-controlled release point, and then initial point. With CCIP, basically you aim the bombs manually and then drop them onto the ground. In CCRP, you basically follow a predicted computer line, and then the computer drops the bombs where you want them, which is good for dropping things from high altitude, like laser guided bombs and such likes. But for hitting things with precision, or if you're going in low altitude and you want to blow things up, then using CCIP is cool and green for that. So looking at the chat here, crikey, let's have a look. What kind of joystick you use? Answer that. Recommended cheaper ones. I think the T1600 is very popular at the moment, which is kind of an entry-level Thrustmaster T1600. I've got a couple of friends that use that, and they seem to think it's pretty good. Basically any stick which has got 3 or 4 hat switches and lots of buttons, you're going to be fine. I mean, there's all sorts on the market at the moment. I had a X52 Pro, I still have it. I use it when I play Elite because I feel more comfortable playing Elite with the X52 Pro than the Warthog. The Warthog's a very heavy stick, and flying spaceships with it's not very fun. Yeah, I mean, the X52 you could probably get away with. It's got just enough kind of hats and buttons on it to make it work. Can I launch from another catapult? Interesting. I'll have a look through that. I'll go and smash it into the back of the carrier soon, and we'll have a look at that. Okay. He maybe said the X52's fine middle range. Yep, that's right. I'm using Track IR. I do have VR as well. I've got a DK2. But I don't like using auto. Yeah, CCRP is kind of auto. yeah, I don't like using VR while I'm flying kind of on YouTube and stuff because it's not a very good experience for everybody watching. So we'll switch this thing into air to ground mode, which brings up the CCIP pepper on the HUD here. We'll switch off the autopilot. One thing I found is when you switch off the autopilot on the upfront controller, it still holds the aircraft. You need to kind of bank the aircraft quite heavily in order to actually get it to disconnect and free up the controls again. We'll circle around here. I've got some, we're just over waypoint 1 at the moment, which is where some trucks are. I think they're down on the fields down there somewhere. I think I put them on this field just on the coast, so I know exactly where to be. Let's see what it says. There are down there somewhere. Just trying to identify them. I know they're in one of these fields. He says. Probably surrounded by these trees, which I like making life hard for myself. And I think I'm actually stalling out 2 years. We are. Pull back on the throttles a bit too much, so I'm circling there, but we can get away with that. Some radar blips. I'll put some aircraft just flying backwards and forwards, some drones, so I can test the M7s. Every time there's a patch on this, I like to go in there and test everything just to see kind of what's working, what's not. Oh, hi Matt. So Matt's saying it's just trimmed. AP's disconnected when puddled. Okay. Let's have a low fly over the target area.
Altitude. Altitude.
There's definitely trucks down there. There's a whole bunch of trucks down there, and that's where Right, I've got them visual now, so we'll go and bomb them. How you doing today, Webs? Radar's actually doing really well at the moment. Jason Klein said is the radar still hit and miss. From my own experience, the radar is tracking and keeping lock much better now. I had a quick go last night. The AIM-7s were tracking through the initial phase, but then it'd still just kind of fly straight. Like just before they hit the target, they'd kind of straighten up, not hit. So I guess that still kind of working on those. But it is getting better every time I fly it. The radar kind of acquisition modes are working great. The AIM-9s work just fine. The gun tracking, I think the Pipper is starting to work. That's starting to kind of float around targets and stuff like that now as well, which is cool. Already, just trying to think, was it this one? Yeah, I've got some trucks that cool. Let's
Altitude.
Let's bomb some targets here. So that should be 2 bombs gone. That direct hit. I think he actually only dropped one. No, we didn't. Just dropped 2 very close to each other. So we'll circle back around here and then see if we can drop some more. One thing I love about the Hornet is very fast. You can get in and get out really, really quickly. Unlike things like the Harrier, I absolutely love the Harrier. But going back to the Harrier after flying the Hornet, it just feels like you're traveling backwards. So we'll make another CCIP running here. This is my favourite skin. I think it looks absolutely nuts. They've done a great job on them. got a truck in sight there. Blum blum. Yeah, so as you can see, the bombs did separate there. There was one impact and one impact just after. So I know for a fact, I have tested that the sequencing works just great. I set 4 bomb release on multiples of 1 at 1,000 yards, and they literally dunk, 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 and it was an awesome thing to see. Righty, so we'll load up the rockets. Now, the rockets are absolutely brilliant. The effects, like the explosion effects with the heat ripples coming out, I really do hope it kind of translates well on YouTube. But when you see the rockets impact on the ground and the shockwaves come out of them, the explosion and the dust and everything coming up, it is a sight to see. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'll come around here, find another truck to pick on, and then I'll fire 1 batch of rockets. Rockets are so cool in this. Okay, I think I've got a truck to pick on.
Altitude. Altitude.
Okay, here comes the range pipper, and we're now in range. It got it in range. Just fabulous when you see those rockets impact. I might have been just slightly off the mark there. Still got plenty of rockets left, so we'll come back around. I think I might have actually been aiming at a tree rather than a truck. Need to get my eyes tested. Just sounds amazing. The tearing sound as you're going through the sky is unbelievable. Let's try a slightly steeper approach onto target here. So we'll gain some altitude and then roll down on them. Yep, absolute full burner, 25 degrees nose up, not losing speed. Gotta love the Hornet. Okay, let's find a truck to kill. I think I found one.
Altitude. Altitude.
Just amazing. Got 1 pot of rockets left. I really do hope you guys can see the explosions coming off those ground effects, the little kind of heat blooms that come out. Not sure if truck or tree. I think there's something down there. Let's have a go at it anyway. Just so cool. And then the pièce de résistance, the 20mm gun. Let's see if there's any trucks alive down there. I think I can see one. Okay, in
Altitude.
range.
Altitude.
810 hard out. Oh, I fell short. Okie dokie. I thought I was getting an in range there, but still fell short of where I was aiming. But that's okay. Just need to get closer. So Jason Klein's asked, what's my favourite part of the Hornet so far? God, crikey. That's a really, really good question. For me, it's probably the sound. I think, yeah, I love sounds in games. I think sounds is one of those little things that makes a big difference. And when you've got this thing cranked all the way up, it just sounds amazing. It really does. They put so much detail into it. You know, like every knob, every, you know, kind of switch makes a proper kind of chunky click. The external sounds, kind of when you're flying by, when the afterburners are kicking in, it just sounds amazing. I think for me, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the sound as probably one of my favourite parts of the aircraft. Other than that, just the sheer agility. You know, on the flying aspect of it, the way that you can just mash it about the sky.
Pull up, pull up.
And the bitching Betty's really cool. She sounds nice. You want to do what she says, which is, you know, you can't say that about a lot of women. Okay. But just the details. I mean, even things like the textures in the aircraft are absolutely fantastic. You know, it really, really is an amazing piece of kit. They've done such a brilliant job on this. I couldn't think of one thing on this that's a disappointment. You know, just the way that the FCS works, the way that the aircraft kind of maneuvers and flies and handles. I'm probably sounding like a bit of a fanboy, but I think this is going to very quickly become one of my favourite modules, even overtaking the Harrier, which for me is, you know, I worked on a Harrier squadron for 4 years, you know, when I was in the Air Force, and a Harrier will always have like that centre part in my heart. It's just an aircraft I love, and I think Razbam's kind of AV-8 in this is just brilliant. I really, really do love flying it. But when you jump in this Hornet and its capabilities, what it can do, what you can do in it, is just brilliant. Absolutely superb. And the fact it's so blooming quick. You know, it's like you look down, you're like, oh, I'm there already. Okay. It is really brilliant. Hi, Roland. I'm having a bit of a problem with Call of the Wild at the moment. I can only play for about 10 minutes and it crashes. But that's, yeah, I'm trying to find out what's going on with that anyway at the moment. Super tankers are in. We might have to try and find one of those. Wait till in range on the HUD, yep. Just going through the chat here, sorry guys, as we're flying up towards the target here. Swin AA mode at the moment here, got, oh yeah, it says CCIP there, interesting. I wonder if we actually come into... Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of a bug for you, Matt. Just some, symbology stuck on the HUD, that's nothing really. It's still early access, boys and girls. Alrighty. one thing I do like about the radar, I'm not sure if this is a feature or if it's something else, but when it loses lock, it does seem to auto-acquire, or seems to search for and then reacquire what you were kind of looking at before, which is quite cool and groovy. I think we're in the range here. Let's see if this missile will track. Like I said, at the moment they do track through the initial parts, and then they tend to kind of veer off target. So as you can see, it's tracking. Let's see if we get a hit on this. The radar's still locked, and then it's just kind of nose down. Cool. Trying to think. Gunboat. There we go. A little bit close on this guy. I just got some kind of like droney type aircraft flying backs and forwards just to practice kind of BVR locks and stuff like that. There we go. So we've got the gun pipper up there. Although at the moment it does seem to track a little wild. Before it was just static, it is moving now, but hey, it's all over the place. Radar back into search. There we go, so we've got a track there at 26 miles and a shoot. So let's got aim 7 up. Shoot. The radar is still staying locked. Before it used to unlock as soon as you fired, but this is early access, boys and girls. You know, things are still being worked on, but having access to the early release, I can definitely see the progress that they're making, and you know how it's being improved kind of every day. Like I said, there's about 10-15 gig patch every day, and there's always stuff kind of being added and improved, which is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I think that's actually flown past now, isn't it? Yeah. So like I said, the missile tracks through the initial parts and just fly straight, but it's still deselect CCIP gun. Okay. Ah, there we go. Right, still had CCIP on the gun. See, I was doing something wrong. Thanks, bud. Thanks, Wags. It's a good job Matt's on the stream. Wow. Just trying to catch up with the chat here. Sorry about this, guys. There's a lot of chat going on. Yeah. Yeah, so Wags just said that the aim 7's not fully implemented yet. It is still early release. But you can still kind of go through the motions at the moment of doing like the radar lock tracking, you know, kind of working your way in towards the targets, which is really cool. 6,000. Okay. I think I've actually got a Viking tanker somewhere around here, so I might go see if I can't hook up to him and then have a fly up the north and have a look around the north of the map. Yep, so that's his mark on attack and there, which is really cool. Might even get to see him on radar here. Could be him there. think that might actually be someone else. I've actually got my anti-aliasing turned off at the moment. It's just personal preference. You can turn out anti-aliasing on, it does smoothen things out. But one thing I've found with anti-aliasing off is that you get much better dot range. You can see kind of the dots of aircraft further out and stuff like that, and I find it easier for spotting things. It's just personal preference. You can turn it on, smoothen things out, things like that. But this is just kind of how I've got it set up on my rig. So yeah, I don't know if Wags has mentioned it yet, but we have actually have announced that the Persian Gulf map, this map is coming out on the 23rd, I believe it is, and then the Hornet is coming out on the 30th. And I believe that the Hornet still, and the map, are still on the pre-release kind of purchase, pre-purchase, and the discount's still available, so you know, don't be a mug, go and buy it now. I really can't recommend this enough, and getting $20 off by buying it now, you know, you'd be an idiot not to, really. You know, I'm not trying to be a salesman for Eagle or anything like that, but honestly, you know, with the discount and the fidelity on the module and when it's going to be in early access, I really do think that you're going to be missing out on something if you don't purchase it now. So yeah, go buy it. It's cheap. Well, you know, cheaper than it's going to be anyway. Hello. Thought I was tracking on our Viking there, but now it's actually come up behind me, so maybe I flew past him. Let's check the map here. Yeah, there's our dude. Just trying to think actually what... that must be him. In fact, I think the carrier is 2x. I wonder if this goes on 1x. I'm just trying to think which... I know... Let's have a look. Yeah, that might be... I'm trying to think which TACAN channels I've got set to which aircraft. When is the Yak 52 coming out, Wax? Is there any kind of further news on that? Or is it just, you know, to be announced? So that is one aircraft I really can't wait to get a hold of. Righty, there she is. Actually, need to set our radios up here. I think it is for tankers.
Texaco, in field, 1-1, request rejoin.
No,
and ready for contact. Contact at 15,000. Abort rejoin.
Selected the wrong tanker there, so we want Shell.
Shell, in field, 1-1.
I actually think the com sort itself out, so the closest one's at the top.
In field, 1-1. 1-1. Shell, proceed to pre-contact at 10,000.
Is there any way to keep the UFC from turning itself off? I'm not sure, to be fair. But it doesn't take much to switch it back on. You just press the corresponding button and then it comes back to life. Maybe Wags can answer that one. To be honest, I absolutely don't know if there's a way to stop the UFC from blanking yourself. But if you want autopilot, press AP, IFF, TACON, ILS. DL, maybe data link? That's you know, not sure. But yeah, for radio, just pull out the radio switch and then the radio comes up. Let's see if we can't slow down before we fly past him. I think this is going to happen. It's got a big red one on the end. Oops, kicked the throttle a bit too much there. Got to work on these approaches. Let's try that again, shall we? Sorry guys, not going to be looking at the chat for a second here, I'm just heads up. Don't want to fly into a Viking, that would be really bad. Yeah, the flight control system on this is really, really good at keeping you flying kind of straight and level as you want to.
Ready, pre-contact. Return pre-contact.
Need to be a little closer.
Ready, pre-contact. Return pre-contact.
Oh, come on, give me the boom.
Ready, pre-contact. Cleared contact.
There we go.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
I would say refueling on Hornet's easy, if you can say that refueling at all is easy. It's kind of one of those things that it's like rubbing your head and patting your belly. You can do it. It just takes a lot of time to get it to actually. Come on, get back into position, smash. I went to kick my rudders and my pedals went sliding across the floor there because, you know. Starting to get a bit wobbly here. I really want to look down to see how much fuel I've got, but I daren't. 7,000. Okay. Sweaty palms. Doing this on the turn as well, just to make it that little bit more fun. That isn't the F word you're looking for. Flew out of it. Damn. Well, good enough.
Rejoin.
Thank you, Mr. Tanker. That was a lot of fun. I do like air-to-air refueling. And back to the chat. Let's see what's going on here. Oh boy. You guys really got to slow down the chat here. I can't keep up. Yeah. Tech saying relax your grip. Yeah. It's like holding on for dear life. Like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can actually put your fuel gauge up on your screen share as well to see what's coming in rather than looking down. Just trying to think. Actually, where was that? No, that's FCS. Just trying to think which one's the fuel gauge. Where it says fuel, that would help. Yeah, so you can put your fuel up on the MFD, so you can kind of see what how much fuel you got there as well, which is handy. That's a good question. Archimede there said, except for the carrier and the S3, are there any other assets expected to reinforce the Hornet experience? Interesting. I guess that we're getting a lot of kind of irradiant units, maybe? So Brent said, hey Smudge, with your early access to DCS update your sim, and do you get feedback on what needs to be repaired? I get updates daily. They do kind of send updates to the early access every day, although it is kind of a guessing game as to what's been fixed. Yeah, Wags said that UFC is hardwired for its timeout period. I guess there is no way to stop that. Have I tried landing wrong way on the carrier? No. Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be much fun. I could barely land it the right way, let alone the wrong way. Alrighty, our carrier's over there, so let's go see if we can't break ourselves trying to land this thing. My carrier approaches are, as they say, hit and miss. I think is probably a fair way of putting it. Sometimes I hit the carrier and blow up, sometimes I miss the carrier and don't.
Altitude.
Yeah, I definitely
Altitude.
need to kind of practice my carrier approaches. Wags has already done a fantastic tuitional kind of video on how to land the aircraft carrier, or how to land on the aircraft carrier, how to land an aircraft carrier. This isn't the Avengers so much. He's done a fantastic video on landing on the aircraft carrier. Although trying to do that in real life, it's much harder than it looks. So we'll do an overhead brake there. The meatball is working. You can actually kind of see it glowing green there on the carrier, which is really, really cool. It's hard to see on the way in. It would be awesome to get like a picture-in-picture meatball or something, you know, where you can kind of just have like a little, you know, when you're doing like cargo pickups in a helicopter, you get the little icon thing in the top right-hand corner or top left-hand corner to help you pick up cargo. Getting like a little meatball icon or something like that in the top corner would be absolutely fabulous. Okay, so below 250, so we'll go huck down, we'll go flaps down and gear down, and then we'll see if we can't smash this thing into the aircraft carrier. It's probably going to happen. I do believe that if we actually clear this, it's 127.5. Slowing down a bit too much here. So that should be the aircraft carrier's.
In field,
Let's see if it
1-1, inbound.
Try com 2.
In field, 1-1, inbound.
In fact, didn't program com 2, did we? Let's see.
In field, 1-1, inbound.
That doesn't seem to want to talk to us. I know they talk to us on easy comms. When easy comms are on, the carrier does talk to you. And I do believe it is 127.500, which is the default default channel for them. But they don't seem to want to talk to me.
In field, 1-1, inbound.
So we can see the meatball there anyway. Now on the Alpha you should have a nose up of 8 degrees by the book. I found kind of having more success at around 5. At 8 I find myself kind of dropping a lot harder onto the deck. But we'll try and aim for that and see if we can't get her onto the deck here. So I think we're actually slow. Okay, hooks down, gears down, flaps are down. It's quite hard to see the meatball on the approach here. You can just kind of see like a little yellow dot kind of going up and down of a green line showing if you're high or low. I think I'm just slightly high at the moment looking at the meatball. Just need to speed up a bit. Keeps hello. see which wire we got there. Number 3! Haha! Cool, happy with that. Right, let's see if we can't hook back up to the carrier here. Let's try this cat, just to see if it does work. Although I think I need to be able to talk to the carrier to request takeoff. And if they're not answering me at the moment, that could be a bit of a pain. I think it does default to that one, but we'll have a go and see what happens. Yeah, it is hooking us up. Cool. Yeah, so if you hit U, you hook up to the catapult. So it is hooking us up to this catapult, so if we hit go, we should actually take off again. That's cool, I like that. Right, let's power up and steam off the back of this deck, shall we? Whoa, no pressure. Yeah, okay. Probably telling us that there's something wrong with the configuration, but we're okay. Here we go, and hands off controls. And she just flies herself straight off the deck. It is awesome. I do love this thing. Might even try one of the waste cats next. Just seen Matt commenting on my landing there. Flaps were at half, I'm sure we're all the way down. Maybe that's my bad. Yeah, Matt did an absolutely fabulous Case 1 video on how to do this landing properly. Set your course lines. It's all practice. Alrighty, let's see if we can't do this again, shall we? I'll check my flaps are down at full this time. I bet Matt is watching this screaming at his monitor, "Don't do that, do this, don't do that, do this." I know sometimes when I watch videos I do the same, but you know, in the heat of the moment, you know, you do what you can. And that's right, I am having fun, because, you know, flying DCS is a hell of a lot of fun. And flying Hornet's a lot of fun. And you can get it wrong and still kind of... That's so cool. Just noticed the weight kind of off the carrier there. That just kind of took me a bit by surprise. That looked really awesome. Alrighty, let's get this thing back around then, shall we? A little bit below kind of target altitude, I think. Let's go back down, gear down, and flaps to full. Definitely flaps at full there, this time. Oops, a little bit actually above target altitude, but let's I really do need to watch Matt's Case 1 video again and again and again and again and again. Yeah, that's telling me I'm going probably too slow. Too high this time, actually. Ah, I think caught the last wire there. Let's have a look. Yeah, caught the last wire. Thought it was coming in a bit too high for a bolter, but managed to get away with it. Ah, that's 2 for 2. Oh, this is going to go wrong, I just know it is. Let's see if we can't launch off one of these waste cats. Fuel's still looking good. Actually, I'm going to set the takeoff trim this time. And the aircraft carrier is looking fantastic. You can see the meatball glowing on the side now, which is really cool. So put the bar down. I'll hit you, and then we should roll forward onto it. Might actually not be forward enough. Just keep it forward. There we go. Time for a waste cat launch. Because who doesn't love love coming off a waste cat? Time to land the wrong way. Yeah, I don't think so. I think by the time the wires stop you, you'd probably be off the back of the boat, to be fair. How fast can a carrier go for wind over the deck? I set the carrier to 30 knots with a bit of a headwind, but I found that the aircraft was actually getting blown about the deck. I couldn't taxi properly. But maybe it's just because there was a really strong kind of deck wind coming across the deck, you know, which made it kind of react a bit funny. Wow, the chat is going absolutely nuts. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just trying to catch up with this before I launch off again. Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah, TACAN left. There we go. That's for tracking the TACAN, yep. Can you drive on the elevators? Yes, you can actually. On this, you can drive on. On the old Enterprise, it used to be if you hit the elevators, you fell through them. I found on this, you can drive on every surface of the ship, and it works just fine. I had actually had some aircraft kind of parked up, but I found out they disappear after a little while once they've been parked up. I'm not sure what causes that. Maybe that'll change in the future. Yeah, so as Lobster Nurse has just said there, the map is released on the 23rd, which is such an awesome map, and I think it's going to open up so many possibilities for mission building and campaigns and stuff like that. Absolutely brilliant. And then the Hornet is released on the 30th, and I know I've said it before, but honestly, go out and buy the Hornet now while it's on the discount price. You really won't be sorry. It is a fantastic module, and you'd be absolutely daft not to buy it now. Raise the launch bar before takeoff. That's how it's done in real life. Interesting. I always thought it just popped up automatically when you come off the deck. But okay. Set boat, tacan and course line on the BRAC brackets. Lilla, is that the heading thing? Is that this dude meet Bob? I'm really still trying to learn kind of all of the points on this. Heading, course, lines, crikey. If someone tells me if someone wants to tell me how to do that, I'll be all ears. I really will. Set tacken. Wags is trying to help me out here. He really is, but you know. Just trying to see, set heading. I know you can set the heading course needle here, which is what you use with the autopilot. Would that be the same thing? Maybe. Pass. Let's go for another launch and get airborne anyway. In fact, what I might do is, let's see if we can't rearm here. Put some airbags on this thing.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Yeah, let's go and have a look up north. Course the heading of the boat. Does the Hornet have ILS? It does have ILS, although I think it is one of these things that's still being worked on at the moment. Or at least as far as I was aware, it's not implemented yet. Wags, keep calling Mags. Wags might be able to update us on that and tell us if that's been updated as of yet. I'm really not too sure. Yeah, I absolutely love flying Hornet. Really am. Just it's a joy to fly, and I'm probably not doing the greatest job in flying it. I know that there's guys out there that can probably do it better, but it all comes with practice, all comes with time, and it is a complete hoot to fly this aircraft. It really is.
Refueling complete.
And Matt Wag's video, if you go onto his YouTube channel and check out his Case 1 video, Case 1 landing video, it shows how to do this sort of stuff properly, unlike me, who's just kind of eyeballing it. Yeah, there is a Blue Angel skin
Flight controls.
for the aircraft, which is really nicely done. And from what I understand, Wags will probably be able to corroborate this, is that in the future,
Rearming complete.
there will be kind of numbers where you can put the numbers onto the aircraft and stuff like that, which will be really cool. Let's go have a look about the map anyway. So we'll launch off the wastecat here, and then we'll go have a look around the map, maybe up in the north into the Iranian side, and then we'll land and call it a night. Cool. So throttling up now. Oh, she wanted to sink there quite a lot. I think adding the fuel bags on has upset the FCS. Let's actually have a look at that. FCS is doing okay, actually. That's one of those big civilian boats over there. Let's go take a look at it, see what it is. Every now and then you look at something and you're just like, that's so cool. And then when you see the textures and such like on the Hornet, just really, really awesome. Got a cargo boat. Some of the shipping around this is absolutely awesome, and it all moves, which came as a surprise to me, to be fair. When I first kind of saw the sailing boats and stuff around Abu Dhabi, kind of sailing in and out of the harbours and moving around and stuff, it was like, that's so cool. Such a neat little touch. There's another cargo boat over there. Let's go have a look at him. Like PIDing boats. Loads and loads and loads of questions going on in the chat here, mostly towards Wags, which is really cool. It's a big old boat on the nose there. I wonder if that's one of the new oil tankers that's just been putting in. Could very possibly be. In fact, I think it is. What kind of size that thing? Well, when you look at that, it is. That thing is a pretty big boat. They have a hard time hitting up with an anti-ship missile, that's for sure. I think we might have another one over this way as well. tickling the burners here, using lots and lots of fuel, which I don't really want to do. I swore for a second that said SpaceX on the side of that ship. I think it actually says Space Y. Maybe it's a competitor of SpaceX. Spacey. That's cool. Alrighty, let's head up the coast here and then go have a look up north. So down to the south, down that way, there is quite a large city and a runway. Like a small airfield thing you can land on and fly around, which is quite a nice little hidden area. Brace weights on the checklist page. Check this page. Aircraft weight. 41,870 pounds, I guess it is. Yeah. One of the little details on the aircraft that I think they got absolutely right as well were the actual aircraft lights. I don't know if you guys noticed that. In fact, let's have a look. Where's the other position lights? We'll turn the position lights all the way up right. The other lights will fly up north here. Oops, in fact, no, that's south smudge. You're turning south. Captain sets a direction, strikes again. Would help if I paid attention to my header ticket tape. Alrighty, so let's set your pilot here for barrow hold. Cool, so if we look externally, hope you guys can hear me here because it does get loud on here with externals. The external lights look absolutely brilliant. Before in DCS, the external lights look like big, kind of round strobes sticking out of the plane. But now, kind of, you can almost see it on the tail light. They all look like the tail light there, like big, kind of strobe sticking out. But when you look at the position lights on the left and right here, and also the strobe light on the back, it actually looks like a real light. It's really, really cool. It's just one of those little improvements that just kind of, you're just like, no, that's cool. You know, they need to do that on all the planes. Here's a question for Wags, actually. I know that you guys have been introducing kind of rain on droplets and things like that. Is there any plans to put in like cockpit fogging? Now, I mean, not kind of being a pilot of sorts, I don't know how much of a problem it is for aircraft, you know, kind of like cockpit fog, but I mean, you know, you've got like defog controls and everything like this in the cockpit. Would that ever be implemented in the future? Is that something that you guys are looking at? I don't know. It's just kind of like one of those weird things that just kind of come to me. Set waypoint 1 and set as target. Still so many systems to learn, honestly. Smudge listener Matt, I'm trying. I really am. Oh, hi Peter. He said, do a barrel roll. A barrel roll just for you, Peter. Because everybody loves a barrel roll. Sorry guys, just trying to get caught up on the chat here as we fly off to the north. There's another one of those really cool oil tankers down there. I did see some kind of white pleasure craft down there before as well, which looked like some kind of yacht or something, which was really cool. I think Matt might have actually kind of been banging his head off the old keyboard. So I think I've got my waypoint 4 set up near Bandar Abbas. That's where we're going to be heading up to. Oh, so want to show me something cool. Okay, so select waypoint 1. Sorry Matt, just trying to catch up with you here. I'm reading through the chat as I'm going here, and it's all going pretty fast, so here we go. Oh, alrighty. Well, thanks Wags. Hope you have a good one, buddy. So we're on waypoint 1 there now anyway. Hope has Wags left? I think Matt's actually stepped off, unfortunately. He did want to show us something there, but I've just been kind of like scrolling through the chat as it's kind of coming up, and it's taken me a little while to catch up with it. I've had to carry up to 30 in the mission editor. I've not pushed it any further than that, to be fair. Interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what Matt was trying to say back there, but I think it might have been some kind of weapon guiding mode. Yeah, so I was just looking at that. So that's waypoint, and set as target on waypoint 1, and you do get a licking flisher. Let's see what I was pointing at. Okay. So I think that's actually a float. I think maybe that's what he's trying to show you, like a floating pipper or a pipper on the ground. Maybe like something pointing towards your waypoint. let's see, does that flick to... Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I think it actually shows the target position kind of relative to the ground. That's something new. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry about that, Wags, if you see this later. Like I said, it's just hard trying to keep up with the chat as it's coming up here, because it is all coming up pretty quick. Only a few people know the true top speed of carrier. You're probably right about that. Okay, so we're coming up into... do believe it's Bandar Abbas here. Yep. So we've got Bandar Abbas International in the city around here. So we'll, I've not really kind of been up around this part much. So let's go and have a fly around here and take a look and see what it's like.
Altitude. Altitude.
Yeah, Matt Adams just said there, looks like if you set waypoints at target, you get a box on the ground. Yeah, I think you're right about that, to be fair, which is a really, really neat feature. Definitely help with locating targets and stuff like that. Unfortunately, Matt had to leave before he could show me that, or before I could cotton on to what he was trying to show me. And I am sorry about that, Wags. As I said, sometimes it's hard keeping up with the chat while you're trying to fly and do other things as well. Maybe I need to get someone to help me out doing these live streams. Just having a look around Bandar Abbas. Shaky, shaky. So on the Iranian side of the border now. Interesting. So, Belbeck 86 has said, is it possible to manually enter waypoints? I believe that may be coming. I'm not sure how to do it yet, so don't quote me, but I do believe that will be a thing. Excuse me. Collect rows of barrack blocks or something, maybe. Interesting layout of buildings. I do like the hardened aircraft shelters here, though. They do look really funky. Looks like it'd be a hell of a tight turn getting out of the hangars, though. Is the game doable with a keyboard and mouse? Only if you're crazy. You could do it with a keyboard and mouse, but honestly I think you get so much more out of it by doing it with a joystick, even a simple joystick. I think you get a hell of a lot more out of it than trying to fly it with keyboard and mouse. Yeah, technically yes, practically just get a joystick. Yeah, I couldn't really kind of said that better myself. May you show the spin mode? Maybe? I know it does have a spin recovery switch here, which is really cool. let's fly about a little bit more, then I might gain some altitude and see if I can get her into a spin. But the FCS on this is really cool. The flight control system does generally stop you from doing silly things. So I might be able to get her into a spin, but it all depends on if the FCS will actually let you. There is an FCS cutoff switch which disables the flight control system and allows you to kind of do silly things with the plane. Whether it allows you to actually kind of get it into a spin is another question though. We'll can have a look at that maybe another time, or slightly later on. This is a really, really cool part of the map. There's a lot of buildings here. Yeah, FA Crazy Canuck has said this is a simulation and to not use a HOTAS would be a waste of time and money. I'd say yes and no. I think you definitely get a lot more out of it with a joystick than without a joystick. But I think it'd still be very much possible to fly it without one. This is actually my first time flying around the northern part of the map. Some really, really funky airfields around here. Really make it interesting for some missions. Got a couple more tanker ships on the way out there. This way. A whole bunch of industrial buildings, oil silos and stuff like that around here. Really, really complex rail network. Oil and gas silos maybe? Be interesting things to try and drop some bombs on. Looks like there's some trains in the old rail yard there as well. So I'm just flying around in circles here, guys, but I am discovering this at the same time you guys are. Most of my flying's just been around the southern side of the map. I really did want to try and fly a helicopter around the map to kind of have a closer look at things, but unfortunately we can't install other modules into the early access. It won't let us. I think it's down to the kind of digital security thing that we've got installed now. It won't allow us to install Star Force modules. This is such a really cool place. Massive power transformers there. I guess that must be some kind of power station there though. It's really cool. Um, how big is the installations download for the F-18? It's a good question actually. I think maybe about 30, 40 gigs. I think I downloaded about 70 gigs in total. In fact, I don't even think it'd be that much, you know. I think it might be about 15 gigs. I'm just trying to kind of think now. The early access version was about 70 gig. Every day there's an update of about 15 gigs, which I think is kind of like new versions of the aircraft coming down. So I think it might be somewhere in and around there. Fuel check still got, I'm on internal fuel now. Fuel's kind of doing okay. I do have a tanker up around here as well, I think somewhere flying. I can go and hit the tanker again if I need to before I fly home. Just, it's a really, really cool part of the map. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep up with the chat as well as flying around in circles here, but it, I need to kind of get Apache eyes where you've got one eye on the screen and one eye where you're flying. It's a skill I've not quite acquired yet. That dock is really cool. It's a massively industrial part of the map here. There's kind of like power stations, oil silos, dockyards. Plenty of targets of opportunity. Now that's really cool. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but you got kind of like wavy, kind of choppy sea. And then there's like a little kind of like pier or headland here, and then there's just still calm inside there. There's like a completely different texture and type of water. Just little touches and things like that in this sim that just kind of make you go, hang on a sec, that's really cool. That is really cool. I do like that a lot. Let's just put this on hold and take a look at the old chat here again, because I'm sure you guys have been going nuts on here. La, 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 la. Talking about sticks, the T1600, like I said, I've got a couple of friends that use them, and they do seem to say that they're pretty damn good for the money. I've got the Thrustmaster Warthog and an X52. I use the X52 when I'm flying Elite, just because I find it better for Elite than the Warthog. The Warthog is a very heavy stick, there's very heavy springs in it, so I just kind of find it easier flying using that. Yeah, there is a tanker up around here. Let's have a quick look over here, and then we'll go bully the tanker and try and get some more gas, and then we'll fly back down south and then land. So it's actually getting up to 1 in the morning here, believe it or not. Dedicated. Let's have a look. Where are we on the map? Okay, so we're actually over Quesham Island. I'm probably murdering pronouncing that, but wow. Just, this map's huge. This really is a big map. When you've been flying around for absolutely ages, and then you have a look at a map and you're like, hang on a second, I've only covered this little bit. This is a big map. A little kind of like fishy boat time things down there. That's cool. Just fly down to the southern part of this island, or sorry, eastern part, flying up towards the city here, and then we'll fly up and then try and hit that tanker. Now we'll fly back down south. So Jay Beckman, how you doing there, said, did carry TACAN's locations move properly as they steam along? They certainly do. As you can see there, the TACAN is kind of moving for the aircraft that I've got located. It works same for the carrier, so you can track onto and kind of follow carriers, you know, find out where everything on the map is that has a TACAN, which is really awesome. So yeah, it's a really cool map, and like I said, it's out on the 23rd. You can still pre-purchase it now, and I think I've said this a few times now, you'd be absolutely daft if you didn't. So go out, honestly purchase it now while it's on the discount. You really won't be sorry. Carrier, aircraft and radar. Hey, thanks, Martox. That's really nice of you to say that. Just saying, great live stream, nice tour of the map. That was the plan. Okay, which way is he flying actually? Okay, so he's actually travelling to our left, I think. Yeah, okay, so he's going from right to left now. And then coming back in towards. So he's at what, 16 miles? And I can see his dot pretty clearly in the sky, which is interesting. One thing that, or the guys at Eagle put on their post recently was that the things that they want to get implemented before they launch the F-18 was of course the AIM-7. One thing that they did mention, last thing they said on there, was the moving map, which kind of gets me really excited. I love the idea of having a moving map, which I guess would be on the multicoloured functional display, which is the centre one down there. I think this guy's Texaco. So let's switch up to channel 18.
Texaco, in field, 1-1. Request rejoin.
Enfield 1-1, Texaco, proceed to pre-contact at 15,000.
So we've got a nice hurt to pull off this time. Just get a little bit closer and then we'll call pre-contact.
Ready, pre-contact.
Cleared contact. Break away. Contact. You're taking fuel.
Just trying to get the power settings right here so I'm not fading back and not fading forwards, but it's quite difficult because it's quite twitchy. And she's just in a band where the aircraft doesn't really want to kind of settle speed-wise. It's either moving towards or moving away. It's hard to find a little middle ground. So it's drifting right, which is annoying too. believe that this actually pushes fuel out into the external tanks as well. So let's have a look. Total is now 10,000. 12 is our internal max. I might be wrong with that. Yeah, okay, so our internal's now full, or going up very slowly, but the total's still going up, so I guess we are pushing fuel into our external tanks. So I'm kind of wandering all over the sky behind the tanker here. Too much off on the throttles, come on. It's just really hard finding that little load ground with the throttle again. Yeah, so our tunnel tank's definitely full, 1120. Total lives are still going up, so we are pushing fuel into the external tanks. Getting all the gas in the world here. So we're getting up to our max. I think our max is around 17 something.
Transfer complete.
Yeah,
Disconnect.
17,580 and go full. Thank you, Mr. Tanker. Alrighty then. So Stephen Reza said is the CH-47 available in this. It's available as an AI unit, you can't fly it yourself. Apparently there is no auto throttle in this. I think Matt actually kind of answered that question earlier, saying that the auto throttle isn't in the aircraft. Might be wrong with that though. Macan said I can't wait to crash this beauty into every single aircraft in Dubai. Tanker's on his turn. Alrighty, let's fly south, fly back towards Dubai and then land. This really is a superb part of the map, dude. I know I've just said it before, but that's really cool. I do like it. In fact, on the way back here, let's see how high we can get this thing. I've not done a proper high altitude kind of climb on this thing yet. Let's full max without afterburners. Let's keep climbing here and see how high we can get. interesting. Frugal turned on the auto throttle on his video. I guess it must be that. It's just not something I've kind of used before, actually. Might have to check if there's a control for that. Yeah, Bullethead saying I think the button should be on the throttle itself. You're probably right about that. It's probably a HOTAS control. So let's very quickly kind of check that. So these are all throttle controls. Let's have a look. Spence. Blah, 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 blah. Not sure what the finger lifts do. I think that was moving it for in and out of idle. Might be wrong. I might have to play about with that earlier. I'll see what I can find out about that. A-18C engage disengage. Okay. Auto throttle control, yeah, of course, yeah, A-18C. Also, that was something to do. Yeah. Interesting. Just flying back south here. Kasab is like a little hidden away airfield. It's a proper ugly kind of little runway, and it's really narrow. It was the first runway I ever landed on in Hornet, because I took off from Al Dafra, and I flew up the coast and landed at Al Kasab, or Kasab, and yeah, proper nasty runway to land on. Coming up to 30,000 feet here. It's got a light amount of burner usage going now, I think. Although at this altitude it's using as much fuel as what you do at kind of military thrust at low altitude. So, you know, fuel rate's okay. Just a little bit of light burner usage to kind of maintain speed up here. I suppose it's not contrailing yet, actually. Keep on climbing, do do do. Yeah. Leave out how many keybinds. Well, let's actually have a look at the controls. So this is the all controls. Welcome to the world of DCS, where everything has a control, and then everything has multiple controls, and then everything has more controls, and then you can just kind of keep controlling all day long. The controls list in this is nuts. Yeah, nuts. It's why it has a search function. Ooh, hello. I broke something. Oh no. Broke it. And that's why it's early access, because when you do something that you're not supposed to, it breaks. Nuts. Well, you know what, guys? I think that's DCS telling me I need to stop. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Like I said, is early access. Sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes things break. So yeah, just going through the controls list there, and it all just went. So you know, is what it is. The game's just crashed down there. But it is getting up to 20 past 1 here in the UK. It's getting awfully late, early. Yeah. So I might leave this here. Like I said, just kind of flying out for a bit of fun, enjoying the Hornet. But yeah, I'll probably try and get another stream up maybe tomorrow. Kind of throw the Hornet about a bit, see what silly things we can get up to. Yeah, left shift R restarts mission, but didn't hold it. The game just kind of crashed itself down to desktop there, unfortunately. But it's an early access version. It's as stable as a house of cards and hurricane sometimes, but you gotta love it anyway. And I'll say, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the Hornet is on pre-release right now. You can buy that on the ED store. Really do recommend kind of getting it now while it's on discount. You'd honestly be daft not to. The map is coming out on the 23rd. The aircraft's out on the 30th. So go ahead, go and get that now. Save yourself some money in the meantime. And I'll say thank you very much, guys. I'll say good night. Just a massive thanks to Wags for coming on early there and actually trying to help me fly this thing properly. Yeah, I'll learn it one day. Honestly, I need to go bury my head back in the manual. I've learned quite a few things on the aircraft, but there's still so many little things that I need to kind of learn and learn how to do properly. It's a really complex aircraft. Yeah, don't worry about crashes in the full release version. It's just because this is on the early release version, things like this happen. Don't worry about it. But I shall say thank you very much, guys. It's been emotional. Hope you guys have all enjoyed the stream. The chat has been going absolutely nuts all night long. Sorry I haven't answered everybody's questions, but it's just hard trying to kind of fly the plane and keep up with everything else that's going on there at the same time. Yeah, don't forget to like, love, subscribe, all the other good stuff, and I'll hopefully maybe even catch you guys on tomorrow. So I'll say good night, thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye for now.